guys, we have this little female. She started rolling around and then noticed that there was a tortoise, and she stalked it, and now she's busy playing with it. And I've seen young females like this before, pick them up and bring them over to their mums. I've seen them play around with them with their siblings. So I just wanted to have a quick look and see if maybe she will do something similar for us this afternoon. It's basically the movement that attracted her. And at this age, any movement, mongoose, tortoise, birds, it's all very interesting. Now, the tortoise in general is interesting because she can see it crawling on the ground, and she can see that it's small, and so that she knows that she can possibly have her way with it. Oh, look, it looks like she's picking it up. Oh, how very cool. Now the tortoise tried to get away. Now she's got it, fortunately we just got her backside, but she's got it between her two front paws now. And I'll be interested to see if any of her siblings wake up and watch her. There's a beautiful little yawn. Wake up and watch her and possibly get interested and maybe want to come and join her. Now she's bored with the tortoise, who's most likely hiding completely inside of his shell. So she's chewing on that thorn bush. Now she's back to the tortoise. Mia, you're curious if the lion will actually eat the tortoise. Oh, she's got it in her mouth. Here she's up. Mia, the shell is very hard, so it would be very difficult for her to bite through that shell. Let's see what happens now. One of her siblings is awake and is interested in what she's doing. It's watching her come a little bit closer. Oh, this is absolutely fantastic. Now the tortoise has let go of its bursa sac. We've talked about the bursa sac before. It's a special sac of water that they let go either to wet the earth to lay their eggs, or when a predator is busy with it to try and deter. Now I would bet that there we go. Now she's going to go right in amongst her siblings, and she's going to play around with this tortoise and do her best. There she's licking off the fluid from the bursa sac. I bet that she's going to do her best to make her siblings a little bit jealous, and as long as the tortoise keeps moving, she'll stay interested. So whenever she stops playing with it or licking it, the tortoise might try and put out its limbs and get away, and then she'll of course go for it again. Everyone, welcome to our action broadcast. We have a little teenage lioness who has found a small tortoise. She stalked it, and then she played with it, and then she picked it up in her mouth, and she's brought it over to her siblings, and her siblings are starting to wake up a bit. So she's got it in between her paws right now. This is absolutely fantastic. It's so amazing. While you're busy watching us live on this action broadcast, don't forget, from whatever platform you're on, we are live, so you can send through questions however you like. Look, there she's... Oh, now she's chewing on a stick. So now she's pretending to not be interested in her tortoise. Now, the tortoise might... There, you can just see it under the paws there. Thanks, Vildi. So she's got it tight there. Oh, you can see her claws coming out. Remember, with a lion, the claws are always sheathed, as opposed to a cheetah, whose claws are always out. There we go. Oh, beautiful. Now, she can't bite through that shell as we talked about earlier, but she is doing her best to try and access the tortoise. It's not that she necessarily wants to eat the tortoise. It has more of the fact that it was moving and it caught her attention. And then the tortoise also let go its bursa sac, and then that caused her, caught her attention. Boo, you're saying poor tortoise. Yes, Boo, I would agree. But everything that this lioness is doing, all of the interactions, all of the movements, is all for... is all for gaining access to muscle memory for when she's older, and also curiosity like this with a young female is very, very, very neat, because she's going to be attracted not only to things like tortoises, but to anything that is small that she can possibly access. I've seen lionesses and young male lions this age and a little bit older catch things like aardvark. Now this is also the age where the mums are going to start doing things like catching impalas, especially young impalas or warthogs, and not killing them, but letting their youngsters sort of work on their techniques and their skills and honing all of those muscles. And it's interesting because she's a little bit bored with her tortoise now, but she's not allowing it to escape anywhere, and she doesn't want her siblings to get it, and she doesn't want the tortoise to get away. So now she's doing, it's not displacement behavior, but it's just because she's getting a bit bored. She was chewing on that stick. Now it looks like the tortoise tried to move, and so she's busy chewing on that shell again. It's a very hard shell. And then I think she's back stick a little bit because she got a bit of a thorn stuck in there. There's a yawn. Now when lions yawn, it means they're going to start getting active. Now that activity could be just moving and lying again, or it could be really starting to move. And because this lioness already got up and moved over towards this tortoise and is still actively playing around the tortoise in her paws, I would guess with these yawns, she is definitely going to start moving a little bit more just now. I once watched a lioness not older than this picking up sticks out of the water this way. So another interesting species that young lions like this will go for that are moving along the ground is something like a pangolin. So a pangolin, we have any viewers from the States, a pangolin is like an armadillo, but it's got a very, very hard outside, a hard shell, and it will roll into a circle, and they can't get into that shell, just like they can't get into this tortoise shell, as we mentioned earlier. Oh, then she's up. See, the tortoise hasn't really moved. Now she's going to try to get it to move. There she flips it over. You can just see the legs have been drawn in. The arms have been, all sets of the legs have been drawn in. The head's been drawn in. So she's turning it over to see if she can maybe get any access. But without having fingers like us, it's very hard for her. So her tongue, through that crevice, can feel a bit of the tortoise's skin. And then you can see she's trying to get her teeth in there, but now lions don't chew with their front teeth, they chew with their molars. It works like a scissor. It's called a carnassial shear. So all of her body actions here are very normal for a lion. She's gonna lick, and then if it had skin, she would pull with her front teeth and then chew with her side teeth, but she can't do that. The shell is too hard. Boo, you're curious if she can break a canine. Boo, she's pretty aware that this is a hard species that she's eating, so the chances of her biting hard enough to break the canine are small. Not that they can't break a tooth, of course things like that can happen, but also where the canines sit, especially when they've got young, strong teeth like what she has right now, it's a little bit harder to break those canines off. Denise, you're curious to know if she'll be able to kill it. Denise, I've seen this, I've been lucky enough, I should say, to see this several times. I've never seen them get into a tortoise of this age. When tortoises are much, much, much younger, their shells are not as hard. And then I've seen them eating those little ones as they come out. But no, I doubt she'll be able to kill it. She might be able to do enough damage that it might hurt a limb. But you can see she's really struggling to get into that side. I mean, she's even getting mud stuck in there. Well, it's soil that's then getting wet and turning into a bit of mud. She's struggling. It's more of the curiosity and the fact that she likes to play rather than really wanting to eat it. And when she gets annoyed enough that she can't get in there, she's going to leave it, and maybe one of her siblings will pick it up. but for now it holds enough interest that she's going to try now. This to me looks like a hinged back tortoise. You can just see the little tiny hinge there on the top left-hand side. It looks like a bit of a corner almost, a slight sort of obtuse corner. I'm not quite sure at this moment which hinge back. I know we get Speaks here, and we get, I wonder if we get Labatzi hinged. I'll have to triple check for everybody. I don't know if you guys are enjoying this as much as I am, but this is really, really fun lioness behavior. Deanna, you're curious to know if she'll play with it like a ball. Well, because the tortoise isn't round, she can't roll it, but she has been flipping it back and forth with her paws. I'll be interested to see if she stands back up again and sort of bats it between her paws a little bit, but obviously it's not going to roll too much. It'll just move slightly. Now, just to her left, it's a little bit hard for us to show you with the camera because there's a lot of bushes, but some of her siblings are really starting to take notice in what she's doing. You can just see them starting to move there. So I'm going to be curious to see if we maybe get a tug of war out of this situation. Maria, this young female looks to be just under a year to me, maybe just slightly over a year. I am still getting to know the Nkuhumas. They're not with us all the time, but that would be my guess, is probably just under a year. I don't know if there's any viewers that are out there who watch with us every single day and keep track of the lion prides. I know that there's a few of you out there. Maybe you can let me know when the two sets of litters from the Nkuhumas were born, the older sets. Roshni, good question. You're curious to know if it's a leopard tortoise. So leopard tortoises, Roshni, don't have that hinge at the back. So no, it's as far as I can see, I'm going to say no on the leopard tortoise. It is covered in quite a bit of soil and it is stuck between the paws. But from what I could see, also it's a very long sort of oval shaped that's much more flat. A leopard tortoise would be more dome shaped, slightly more round. Young male's got a little bit of a yawn going on, so he's starting to get a bit more active, and he's been watching his sibling. I'm going to say sibling because they look roughly the same age, but it could also be a sibling cousin. Lions inbreed up to 10 generations, so a lot of the females are either sisters or grandmothers or cousins or a mixture of all of them. And they could possibly have the same dad, but the males that I believe are the fathers of these ones, I believe it's the Birmingham, similar to the Sticks, but we can check. Oh, wait. Is he gonna get interested enough to come over? There's that cat stretch we talked about earlier, just like your house cats at home. Oh, and then the backward stretch, the little sort of down dog move. Let's see what happens. Okay, so what happened there is he tried. The sister was like, nope, not a chance. She covered it, and then now he's doing what's called submissive behavior. He's trying to lie down lower than her. He put his neck out, and she's actually telling him, buddy, this is mine. And that grabbing of the neck right there, showing her dominance over him in this particular scenario. Absolutely fantastic behavior right there. Denise, the pride name Nkuhuma is the Shangaan word for the, or name rather, for the brown ivory tree. And the story I was told, shame, look at her, she doesn't want to be near her brother. The story I was told is that they were first either seen or born underneath a brown ivory tree. If you just say Nkuhuma without the n sound at the beginning, it means to enter a doorway or to enter. And Herbie and I were chatting about this. Herbie is one of our trackers. We were chatting about this the other day, and he was saying, as far as he knows, that it is definitely Nkuhuma, which is a brown ivory tree. Shame. Now he's very despondent, and his sister won't play with him or share her plaything. Now the other two are getting up and stretching as well, so they're probably going to make their way towards this young male and young female. Maybe a bit of greeting. They like to reaffirm their social bond by touching and grooming, and basically it's like a hug and saying I love you. This one here is just smelling where the other two were moving about with that tortoise. I can hear leopard calling in the background. I'm not quite sure if you all could hear that. Ooh, bless you. So now they're waking up movements. I've spent a lot of time with lions guiding, but also doing some research. Their movements waking up remind me a lot of human movements. There's stretching, there's yawns, that sneeze. We groom ourselves as well in the morning. We go and look in the mirror. Shame, this female has now even alerted the, the other young male to the back there. Everybody's getting interested in this plaything. All starting to get moving here, and they're all sort of inching closer to her. That one that just laid down is sort of pretending not to be interested in that tortoise, but is definitely interested. All right, everybody, how fantastic all of that interaction with the tortoise and the young female chewing on it and chewing on her stick.